والصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على النبي الأمي العربي القرشي المكي المدني الهاشمي صاحب لقب القاسين محبوب رب المشرقين والمغربين جد الحسن والحسين النبي الحرمين والإمام الجبلتين ورسول الثقلين الذين سمي في السماء بأحمد وفي الأرض بأبي القاسم محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين المنتخبين المنتجبين لا سيما بقية الله في الأرضين روح وأرواح العالمين لتراد دمه الفداء واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم ومنكر فضائلهم وغاصب حقوقهم أجمعين من يوم عداوتهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، وقد قال الله سبحانه تبارك وتعالى في محكم كتابه ومتقن كتابه: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يعوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي فمن يكفر بالطاغوت من يؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها. الله سميع عليم. صلوات على محمد وعلى اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. In honor of Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, another salawat regarding our theme, which is Tawheed, according to the Prophet. And I mentioned regarding this verse, or these two verses, 255, Ayatul Kursi, and the verse following, the ayat 256 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Today I want to refer to the second ayat, look at it in a bit more detail, and reflect over this part of the ayat, which is very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, like Rafidin, there's no compulsion in religion, but because guidance, the correct path, has been made clear from the wrong path, from the misguidance. And whosoever holds on to urwatul wuthqa, the firm handle, then he will never be detached, or that person will never be detached or removed from that firm handle. So Imam ﷺ was asked regarding the firm handle. He says, what is this firm handle, or firmest handle, which is referred to in this verse? And Imam ﷺ says that Urwatul Wuthqa is the wilayat of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib. And to highlight this point a little bit more, refer to a hadith of the Holy Prophet Islam. Of course, you know that there are countless hadith from the Holy Prophet Islam regarding Imam Islam, but this one in particular, to give us a bit of insight into the importance of Imam Islam, and particularly the area that I want to focus on today how that relates to our theme of Tawheed. Holy Prophet of Islam says, Ya Ali anta bimanzilatil Ka'bah. You are like the Ka'bah. What does it mean? Usually when you give tashbih, you compare something with something else. There has to be something that's common with this thing that you're giving tashbih with. You're giving a comparison with. For example, when we say, this is the most common example that we always use, because it's used in all the languages. When you say, for example, that this person is like a lion, kal-asad. What do we mean when we compare this person with the lion? Do we mean that that person, aliyadu billah, is going to, he's the dangerous person? That's why we compare him with lion. Lions are dangerous. Keep them in their pens and the cages. Or is it because he has big teeth? That's why we call him a lion. A lion has big teeth. Or because he has big nails. Lions have big nails. So if we were to ask, and this is common in all languages, in Arabic we say kalasal. In Urdu we say, in Farsi we say sheep or sheep. And in English we also say, this person is like a lion or lion heart. So this example is common across all the languages. But if you ask someone that why did you call this person kal-asad or kal-shir or kal-shir or like lion-hearted, they'll say it's nothing to do with the physical characteristics of the lion. But it's to do with, when we want to use this example, is because this person is brave. And lions are brave, and it's this characteristic of bravery which is being used as an example to explain. So in this scenario where Rasulullah says that you are like Kaaba, that means it's not to do with the physical characteristics of Kaaba regarding its walls or doors, so on and so forth. But it's to do with, and further on the hadith, Rasulullah also explains, he says, why are you like Kaaba? Because, for example, if you and I would say that you want to go for Hajj, right? So you want to go for Hajj. So in order to go for Hajj, you have to go to get the visa, right, the plane ticket, go to Makkah in order to perform Hajj. But if I say, for example, that no, I don't want to go to Makkah, but I want to perform Hajj. You say it's not possible. You have to go to Makkah in order to perform Hajj. You can't say that I don't want to go there, but I want to perform Hajj. And I say to you that no, I want the Kaaba to come to me. Or we have a monument here. For example, we put black cloth on it. I'm sure you all have seen that message that goes around on social media, that there's a person who asks a question and says that can I put on the TV and follow the prayer through the TV? So the Shaykh gives a reply, he says, why did you stop at the prayer? Why don't you put some black cloth on the fridge and do tawaf around that as well instead of going to Makkah? So of course, if I say that, you'll say to me that yes, you can put black cloth on the fridge and do tawaf around it, but it will not become Kaaba. If you want to go to perform Hajj, then you have to go to Makkah in order to perform Hajj. So Rasulullah also says, Kaaba, the characteristic of Kaaba is that you have to go to it. It won't come to you. Characteristic of Kaaba is that you have to go to it. It will not come to you. So similarly, Rasulullah says, Ya Ali, you are like Kaaba. People have to come to you, you will not go to them. It's people's responsibility, it's everybody's responsibility to come to you, just like it's the responsibility of the people to come to Kaaba, and Kaaba will not come to them. So in this regard, this hadith of the Holy Prophet in reality would answer a lot of questions that sometimes people would have in their mind, that after the Holy Prophet of Islam, what happened? Rasulullah, day of Ghadir, makes an announcement. He says that you have to accept Imam Amir al-Mu'min as the person, as the authority after me, but people don't accept him. So whose fault is this? Rasulullah already said, Ya Ali, you are like Kaaba, people have to come to you. You will not go to them. So for example, if somebody says to me that, why is it that Imam Amir al-Mu'min didn't go to Saqifa and he didn't claim his rights? Ya Ali, you are like Kaaba. You will not go to the people. People would come to you. It's not Ali's responsibility to go to Saqifa and prove his rights. Rasulullah has already told people what he is. It's the people's responsibility to come and accept him, and if they don't, that's their loss, it's not his loss. Recite Salawat ala Muhammad. It's the people's responsibility to come to him, just as it's the people's responsibility to come to Kaaba, and not the Kaaba's responsibility to come to them. And this is the principle, this is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, your responsibility to come to me. He's not going to come to you. You have to come to him. If you don't come to him, it's not his loss. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is no loss if people don't believe in him. Allah will remain Allah whether anybody believes in him or everybody believes in him. Rasulullah would remain Rasulullah whether anybody believes in him or nobody believes in him. He will say Rasulullah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says this. What does he say? He says, وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَسْتَ مُرْسَلًا. And the disbelievers say that you are not a messenger. This is the last verse of Surah Az-Zahra. وَيَقُولُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا لَسْتَ مُرْسَلًا. The disbelievers say that you are not a messenger. So قُلْ, tell them, كَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَكُمْ وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ عِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ. Tell them that it doesn't matter whether you think he's a messenger or not. It doesn't matter whether you believe he's a messenger or not. Kafa billahi shahidan. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sufficient as a witness over the messenger. وَمَنْ عِنْدَهُ إِلْمُ الْكِتَابِ. And the one who has complete knowledge of the book. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wasalam says about this verse, Imam Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wasalam says about this verse, one time he was asked, Ya Ali, which of the fadilat that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, which of the excellences that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to you, do you like the most? Imagine. Amir al-Mu'minin from the moment he's born till the moment he dies, everything in his life is excellence. And somebody is asking him, Ya Ali, out of all of those things, which one is it that you like the most? So he replied, this one. Imam Amir al-Mu'minin replies, he recited this verse and he said, this fadilat of mine, this virtue of mine, that I was considered with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the witness over the risalah, the messengership of Rasulullah, is the one that's my favorite. So, the one who's considered by Rasulullah is like Kaaba, that people have to come to him. He himself is saying that this fadilat of mine, this merit of mine, that I'm considered the witness over Rasulullah, Allah and Amir al-Mu'minin. About this personality, so now you say, why doesn't he come to Saqifa? He doesn't need to come to Saqifa. Why? Because he's like Kaaba. He's like Kaaba, people have to come to him. He doesn't have to go to anyone. Then somebody says, but after the Holy Prophet of Islam, he used to go and pray in the masjid. Of course, why shouldn't he go and pray in the masjid? After Rasulullah, why shouldn't he go and pray in the masjid? Does the masjid belong to somebody? Masjid of the Prophet belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Masjid of Rasulullah, Masjid al-Nabawi, it doesn't belong to any Khalifa or any king or even the one today who says, I'm Khadim Haramain Sharifain. It doesn't belong to them. Masjid al-Nabawi belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Masjid al-Nabawi belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and therefore everybody, irrespective of who they are and what they are, has a right. Whoever's a Muslim has a right to go and pray in the masjid. Now, for example, there's Jamaat going on. Don't worry, keep your attention to me. I'm not disturbed, so it's okay. So there's Jamaat going on every day, and alhamdulillah we have Jamaat. So I'm praying there, you all praying behind me. If somebody comes in and they start praying in front of me, what's going to happen? Jamaat is happening, and somebody comes in and they start praying in front of me, what's going to happen? Their namaz, their prayer is going to be baatil. Right? If there's Jamaat happening and somebody starts to pray in front of the Imam, the prayer is baatil. It's not valid. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen is praying in the masjid. If somebody prays in front of him, his prayer is baatil. It doesn't matter who he is. Why Imam Amirul Mu'mineen is the Imam? And whoever prays in front of the Imam, his prayer is baatil. Don't worry about Imam Amirul Mu'mineen's prayer. His prayer is the one that when he gives zakat in ruku, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reveals the ayat in his praise. This is salawat ala Muhammad. Don't worry about Imam Amirul Mu'mineen's prayer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guaranteed his prayer. Worry about the ones who prayed in front of him. Whoever prayed in front of him, his prayer is baatil. So this matter is solved. That if somebody prayed in front of him, his prayer is baatil. If somebody went in front of him, his wujood, his existence is baatil. His wujood is baatil. So Imam Amirul Mu'mineen doesn't need to go anywhere to go and prove that I am the Imam, I deserve these rights. If you don't accept him, that's your loss. Because he is like Kaaba. He doesn't go to anyone, people come to him. And whosoever holds on to his wilayat is the one who holds on to the firm handle, which will never break. It's the firm handle which will never break. It might bend. It might be difficult. There might be issues on the way, but it will never break. This firm handle, it will never, lan means never ever. It will never ever break. But you have to hold on. It won't break. You have to hold on. The handle will never break. Your responsibility, my responsibility, everyone's responsibility, whoever wants to be saved has to hold on to the handle. That handle is very firm. Because it's handle made by Allah. That handle is very firm, it will never break. But I have to hold on. So whoever holds on would be saved. Whoever doesn't hold on, stay lost. Whoever doesn't hold on to this handle, stay lost. Now in this matter, a very important point. Now this is the policy of Tawheed. Policy of Tawheed is that we're not going to go around begging for people, you have to believe in us, you have to accept. No. We told you the right path. We told you the wrong path. Now it's up to you. We've given you the choice to decide, to make informed decisions, and then you make your decisions. Now question, after all of that, question. That, after Rasulullah, how is it possible? Everybody, they went against what Rasulullah said, and they didn't listen to him, and they appointed whosoever. You know, I remember one of our Sadhus used to say that it's not important who became Khalifa after the Holy Prophet of Islam. What is important is that it was not Ali ibn Abi Talib. Why? Because Allah and Rasulullah have said Ali is going to be a successor of the Prophet. Now whosoever comes in his place, it doesn't matter who he is. It doesn't matter who that person is. But now in this matter we have to find out, and this particular area and particular time in Imam's life is very important. Which is what? That usually when you hear the majlis, you hear the fadilat and the life of Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam during the time of the Prophet. What did he do during the time of the Prophet? And that's important, of course. Then you hear what did he do on the time when he took over the office of Khilafah. But there's 25 years in between. The Holy Prophet Islam passed away in 11 Hijri, and he takes over the office of Khilafah in 30, end of 35, beginning of 36 Hijri. So 25 years in between. What did he do in this time? During this time, what was he doing? Was he just sitting at home and he wasn't doing anything? He was just chilling? Or he was doing something in this 25 years between the time the Holy Prophet of Islam passed away and 36 Hijri? What was he doing? If we understand this very briefly, I want to mention a few things about this time, and if we understand this time, we will be able to understand, number one, what is Tawheed. Number two, what is the policy of Tawheed? Number three, what is the policy of Tawheed and how Imamat manifests that policy of Tawheed, whatever the circumstances might be. Recite Salam. Policy of Tawheed is that it's our responsibility. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's responsibility to provide guidance. In Surah Mubarakah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna alayna lal huda. It was upon us to provide the guidance. It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's responsibility, obligation to provide, Inna alayna lal huda, to provide the guidance. Wa inna lana lal akhirati wal ula. So we provided the guidance. Now, akhirah and this dunya, both of them belong to Allah. First, responsibility, then rights. This is the principle of Tawheed. Principle of Tawheed is what? Is responsibility, then rights. What happens if somebody doesn't give me my rights? I make a big scene and I say nobody gave me my rights, or somebody took away my rights, or how dare somebody take away my rights. But when it comes to responsibility, then we're not so bold. We don't want to know. We don't want to talk about it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says order is responsibility first, then rights. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need to do this. He says, I started with myself that first of all, I had a responsibility to provide guidance. I provided that guidance. Now, it's my right over this dunya and over akhirah. This is the principle of Tawheed. That responsibility is first, then claiming the rights. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen Islam is the representation, is the manifestation of Tawheed. Every representative of Allah, every prophet, every Imam is a manifestation of Tawheed. How do we recognize Tawheed other than by those who have been appointed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order for us to recognize them? And we would know that the first day after Rasulullah passes away, that a person comes onto the pulpit and he says that no, those who worshipped Muhammad know that he is dead. And know those who worshipped Allah that he is alive and he will never die. I want to ask a question. Very important question. Did Rasulullah ever in his life say you should worship me? Did Rasulullah ever, 23 years of his preaching, did he ever say any time that you should worship me? Then why is this person coming on the pulpit and saying who worshipped Muhammad? Nobody worships him. This is a red herring. There's nobody who worships Muhammad, nor did Rasulullah ever say in his life that you should worship me. And the representatives of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are known that they never ask anyone to worship anything, any entity other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this means that there's something else. This person doesn't understand Tawheed. Whoever says this person doesn't understand Tawheed. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen is manifestation of Tawheed. When somebody calls him God, he says, you must repent. And if you don't, you will get punishment. Why? Because I am the servant of God, not. And you are invited by me to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the meaning of manifestation of Tawheed. This is the meaning of manifestation of Tawheed. So, what happens after Rasulullah passes away? Straight after he passes away, people, they come to the house of Fatima and they want to attack the house of Fatima. And their reasoning for attacking the house of Fatima is what? Is that you have to bring Ali out, otherwise we'll burn the door down. Right? You have to bring Ali out, otherwise we will burn the door down. Now at this matter, at this juncture, sometimes people have doubts in their mind that how is it possible that Fatima salamullah came to answer the door? Yes, she did come to answer. Why? This is also a manifestation of Tawheed. Fatima salamullah has come out to answer the door, not because she's defending her husband. Fatima salamullah has come out to defend the Imam of her time. And that is wajib on everyone, even on Fatima. To defend Imam of the time is wajib on everyone, including Fatima salamullah alayha. So she hasn't come out to defend her husband. She's come out to defend Imam of her time. So she says, Ali will not come out. They say, we'll burn the house down. So question. After the Prophet, the one who stood on the air to take off the door of Khaybar, how is it somebody could force him out of the house in that way? But remember, what is the manifestation of Tawheed? Manifestation of Tawheed is responsibility, then rights. Manifestation of Tawheed is responsibility, then rights. Abu Sufyan comes to Amir al-Mu'mineen, he says, Ya Ali, people took away your rights. If you order me, I'll fill the streets of Medina with armies to defend you. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen says to him, Abu Sufyan, when did you become a supporter of Islam? This reply from Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen, I swear, it's the most amazing reply. Every time something happens in the world and world police decides that they have to liberate Muslim people, I always ask the same question. Since when did you become a supporter of Islam? Imam Amirul Mu'mineen says, since when did you become a supporter of Islam? Since when did you become so concerned about Islam that you want to defend my rights? I know what your motives are for doing this. That's why Imam Amirul Mu'minin Islam shuts it. But there's some important other reasons. Imam Amirul Mu'minin Islam is being dragged out of his house. Imagine. Yeah? Father Khaybar is being dragged out of his house. And at that moment there's a person watching you. There's a person watching you. And that person comes close and he says, I testify that there's no God but Allah and Muhammad is the messenger. So they say to him, that what is it that you saw right now that made you testify and become a Muslim? So what does he reply? He says, I was there on the day of Khaybar. I was there on the day of Khaybar. And I saw this young man take off the door of Khaybar. And today I've seen him in this state. And I testify that he took off the door of Khaybar for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And today he's accepted this state for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And whosoever Allah has a servant like him, I want to follow his religion. There's one more important reason. This reason is highlighted from a famous story which I'm sure you heard many times before. Imam Amirul Mu'minin is in the during the time of second Khalifa, there's a case which comes to the Khalifa and he doesn't know the solution to the problem. So he calls on Imam. Remember this, we'll come back to it. He calls on Imam Amirul Mu'minin. What's the case? Case is that there's two women and they're claiming over one baby. Both of them claim that the baby belongs to. So how do you resolve this matter? Both of them say that the baby belongs to me. We don't have DNA in that time. So how do you resolve this matter? The Khalifa calls on Imam Amirul Mu'minin. Imam says, what's the matter? The matter is that there's two women and they claim over one baby. Both of them claim that the baby is mine. Imam Amirul Mu'minin says, come by, says, bring my sword and I'll chop the baby in half. Imam says, bring the sword, I'll chop the baby in half. All of a sudden one of the women says, it's not my baby. Imam says, give it to the one who's saying it's not my baby. Everyone's shocked. Everyone's shocked. Saying, she's saying, it's not my baby. And you're saying, give it to the one who's saying, it's not my baby. Imam Amirul Mu'minin says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has inculcated this fitrat and love in the heart of the mother, that she can see her baby go to somebody else, but she can't see her baby be killed. This is the case with Imam Amirul Mu'minin and Islam. Islam is Ali's baby. He's willing for it to go to somebody else, but he's not willing for it to be killed. Islam is Ali's baby. He's not willing for it to be killed in front of him, so he's allowed it in order for that baby to survive, to go to somebody else. So during this time of the Khilafah, this is what he's doing. People, they come with their cases, the Khalifa don't know the answers, they call on Imam Amirul Mu'minin Islam. Imagine Imam Amirul Mu'minin Islam at any juncture during this whole time could have said, if it was someone like me, would have said that, hold on, first of all, I want my rights. Then I'll solve your problems. And if you want problems solved, then you'll do everything. But Imam Amirul Mu'minin says no. It is my responsibility to solve the matters of the people. whether they give me my rights or not. This is the message of Tawheed. That is my responsibility to do something whether somebody gives me my rights or not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala feeds Musa and he also feeds Fir'aun. He feeds Ibrahim and he also feeds Namrud. He feeds Muhammad and Mustafa and he feeds Abu Sufyan. Even though they don't believe in him, and they are prophets of Allah who are preaching his message, but he feeds both of them. He doesn't leave them starving. Why? He says it's my responsibility to provide for them. It's their responsibility to believe. Just because they didn't fulfill their responsibility doesn't mean I'm absolved of mine. So Imam Amirul Mu'minin in every juncture is saying, look, this is the spirit of Tawheed. This is what it means to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is what it means to represent Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What else is he doing? Every day, in the morning he wakes up, he leaves, he goes out of Medina, and he starts agricultural work in these barren lands. He plants plants, he digs wells, he creates and makes a whole new city called Yambu, exists today even outside Medina, and other surrounding places. And then he moves people to these places. So Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, what is he doing? He's telling us, look, this is the way towards, or the spirit of Tawheed is to create economic development, to make economic development. This is the spirit of Tawheed, of what to do. This earth is there. Now you go spread out and you develop it economically, not for your own personal gains, but for the betterment of society. And to understand that, Imam Amirul Mu'minin says that on the day of Khaybar, or after the day of Khaybar, there was so much wealth that came to the Muslims that there was surplus. When it was distributed, there was surplus. But when I entered my home, I had half a day. The one who was responsible for all that with half a day. That's it. Why? He says that whatever I got in my life, I used to give it to other people. I used to invest that in other people. No? We use this word invest. Why? Because it's an investment. When you give in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He doesn't leave you empty-handed. This is why it's an investment. And it's a better investment than any other investment. Any shares that I'll buy, any stocks that I invest in. This is an investment that will never go down. This is an investment that will never go down. Imam Amirul Mu'minin is saying that, look, I created all of these things in order to create betterment for my family and for my whole community. Why? After the day of Khaybar, Rasulullah was, once he had conquered and the garden of Khaybar had come into his possession, there was a garden near it, there was an orchard, we should say, next to it, called Fadak. And this orchard is very old. Its name is called Fadak because the grandson of Hazrat Nuh was called Fadak. And it's named after him. So imagine Nuh alayhi salam. How many years ago? We don't know. Recorded history only goes back 10,000 years. And it's definitely before that. So it's named after him. And it's in the possession of the people of Khaybar. So those people who live at Fadak, they realize that militarily there's no match So they come to Rasulullah and they give it to him. They say that this is for you personally. And in the law of Islam there is ghanima, which is acquired militarily. Ghanima is the entitlement of all the Muslims because it's acquired militarily. And then there is fay. And fay is acquired without any military force. And that is the right of the Holy Prophet exclusively. No right of the Muslims. Rasulullah has it in his possession, and then there's a verse revealed. وَآتِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ. Give your nearest relatives their rights. And so Rasulullah gives this to Fatima sallallahu alayha. After the Holy Prophet of Islam is taken away, Imam Amirul Mu'mineen, one of his sermons, says that out of mal of dunya, out of worldly wealth, we didn't have anything except for fadak, and the Muslims took it away. We didn't have anything. We just had fadak. We had this orchard was there. Rasulullah had given it to Fatima in order for the sons of Fatima and the children of Fatima and the progeny of Fatima to be able to sustain themselves economically. But the Muslims took it away. So Imam Amirul Mu'mineen could sit at home and say and complain that we had this orchard and it was taken away from us and we couldn't do anything. But instead he says you have to be proactive. Yes, you had something, it's not there anymore. You can't sit there and think about that which you left behind. No, you have to be proactive and do something. So Imam Amirul Mu'mineen invests. Now imagine, this is Ali ibn Abi Talib, who prays the wajib prayers, who prays the mustahab prayers, who helps Fatima salamullahi alayha at home as well, who goes out to earn a living as well, who goes and does military exploits as well. And out of all of this, he's still making time for economic development, not for his own self, but for the community. He's telling me that this is how much potential a human being has. Now don't try and use this excuse. We all use these excuses. I don't have time to do X, Y, Z because I'm too busy. I'm not busier than Imam Amirul Mu'mineen. So that means that is a question, and this point is very important. That is a question of priorities in my life. What is important in my life and what is not important in my life. And by my actions and what I do in my life, I'm not only telling myself what is priority in my life, I'm also telling my children and my family members that this is what is important in my life. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to say that this is a priority in my life. It depends on what I do and how much time I give that action that will tell my family members what is a priority in my life. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen is saying, look, all of these things are a priority. Ibadat is a priority. Helping in the house is a priority. Defending the religion of Islam is a priority. And also doing economic development is a priority in my life. And the extent of this is what, if we want to know the result of this, that Imam Amirul Mu'mineen with Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain alayhi salatu salam does all this effort, what does it result in? It results in the fact that one day Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam is sitting under the tree and he's having his dry barley bread, and a beggar comes to him. And he says, Ya Ali, I'm hungry. Imam alayhi salam says, I have this dry barley bread. I don't know if anybody's had dry barley bread, but I remember when I used to do it, as if they used to bake their barley bread. And when it's fresh, when barley bread is fresh, it's very hard. It's the nature of barley, that it's not like wheat, that it's soft and it will bend. If you bend it, it will break. Because barley as a grain is very hard. It doesn't have the gluten in it that wheat has. So not only is it barley, which when fresh is hard, it's dry as well. So Imam alayhi salam gives it to him. Says, you can have it. He takes it, he tries to bite it with his teeth, doesn't break. Tries to break it with his knee, doesn't break. He says, Ya Ali, I can't eat this. It's too hard. Imam alayhi salam says, I'll give you the address of a place where you would get fresh food. He says, go to this place. He goes there. He sees when he arrives there that there's a banquet there. People are coming and going, eating, taking food. So he goes there, he sits down, he starts to eat. And he's eating and he puts a piece on the side. Every time he eats, he puts a piece on the side. So the man says to him, why are you putting this piece to the side? He says, it's not for me. It's for that old man who's sitting under the tree eating the dry barley bread. Imam Mujtaba smiled at him and says, that person under the tree eating the dry barley bread, this house is his house. This house is his house. And he isn't eating the dry barley bread because he has no choice in the matter. He's eating it because he has the choice in the matter. And when he's asked, Ya Ali, why did you choose to eat that dry barley bread? He said, because I don't want anybody in my kingdom to feel that I'm eating good food whilst they're eating dry barley bread. So those wells and that agricultural development that Imam Amirul Mu'mineen does yield so much income that Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam can feed people 24 hours a day, 365 days. They say that he took money from X, Y, and Z in order to feed people. No. He took money from the investments that he and Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam made in order to feed people, in order to help people. And so great is that wealth that it continues all the way, up to when? Why does Imam Amirul Mu'mineen do this? He does this to show that, that one of the biggest evils in the world is the evil of poverty, of faqr. He says, Imam Amirul Mu'mineen, famous saying that you've heard many times, that is, if poverty was a man, I would have killed him. In other words, I want poverty to be eradicated in the world. And I did all these economic developments in my life in order to eradicate poverty. Why? Prophet ﷺ says that beware of poverty. Because the person who goes into poverty, who falls into poverty, will often lose his faith as well. Poverty leads a person towards shirk. Why? He has to depend on somebody else. And eventually it could lead somebody towards kufr as well, to deny Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala altogether. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is why Imams al-Badr defenders and proponents of Tawheed want to make sure that Tawheed remains defended, Tawheed remains in place in order so that people who believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, poverty needs to be eliminated. Poverty needs to be eliminated. This wealth that Imam Amirul Mu'mineen al-Islam accumulates creates the potential for, in these 25 years, it is so extensive that Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam is feeding people day in, day out. And Imam Hussain alayhi salam, when he wants to leave for Karbala, what does he do? Imagine. Traveling in those days is not like traveling today. That if I forgot something, usually I always forget my phone charger or my laptop charger. So if I've forgotten something, no problem. I'm going to develop part of the world, I can buy it again. I can buy it wherever I reach. Or if I've left something, I forgot to pack something, it's no problem.
I can go and buy when I reach my destination. I can buy on the way. It's not like that in those days. If you're going on a journey, you have to have everything you need on the journey with you before you leave. And Imam Hussain isn't going on a journey that's going to last a few hours. He's going on a journey that's going to last 6 months. 6 months. And he's not going alone. He's going with women, children, babies, all kinds of people. So imagine how much preparation that journey needs and how much expense it's going to incur as a result of all this preparation. So how does Imam al-Salam pay for this? It's mentioned that Imam Hussain al-Salam sells one of the wells that Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen. He sells one of those wells. And what he receives in receipt of that well is what he uses, the income he uses to fund his expenses for going to Qatar. So this is Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen who throughout his life is doing everything in order to show in our lives what is the spirit of believing in Tawheed. This is the Tawheed of Imam Amir, of a God who is benevolent, who is merciful, who is just, but above all is one who wants me to realize that my responsibilities come before my rights. And Imam Amir through his life is demonstrating that I'm concerned about my responsibilities irrespective of my rights. And amongst my responsibilities, Imam Amir is a responsibility to make sure that my legacy is continued. Right? I need to make sure that there's somebody there representing me and representing my characteristics after me. When it comes to desires, when it comes to wanting something, the desires, the wants of a person change over time. When you ask a child what do you want, they'll tell you something very basic, very simple, very idealistic. When that child becomes a teenager, they'll tell you something, for example, about something that's related to their life at a moment in time. When you become an adult, you have a different desire. And amongst adults as well, you have people who come from modest backgrounds, they have modest desires. People coming from different backgrounds will have different desires. And you'll notice that people who, the more educated you become, the more mature you become, your desires become or follow in that pattern. That you desire things better or higher quality of life, as opposed to things. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen is the greatest person out there. And he's never desired anything in his life. He himself says, I've never desired anything in my life. That's everything I want to do. After that, if he desires something, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen desires something, how great is that desire? How great is that desire? He calls an Aqeel, he says, Aqeel, I desire that I have a son who assists Hussain at Karbala. So I want you to tell me, I'm doing preparation. I want you to tell me of a brave tribe, a tribe known for their bravery, so that I can get married to a woman from that tribe and then have a son who will assist my son Hussain at Karbala. No. I'll change that statement. who assist the son of Rasulullah. After the revelation of the ayat of Al-Zahra, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen never called Imam Hassan and Imam Hussain his son. He always used to say they're the sons of Rasulullah. When the Quran is announced that they're the sons of Rasulullah. But why is he asking Aqil? So people say, historians say that Aqil used to know the genealogy of the tribes, and this is why Imam asked. Does he know genealogy of tribes better than Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam? No, Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam is giving a message to Aqil. He says, I'm concerned about Karbala. You too should be concerned about Karbala. Because we need a representative from you at Karbala. We need somebody from your household at Karbala as well. Why? Because at Karbala, the only people who are going to count at Karbala, other than the Ashab, is the Al of Abu, is the family of Abu. That's it. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, I want a. So he sends Aqil. Aqil gives the proposal. He gets married to Fatima Kilabiyya. She has 4 sons. She's called Bani. Her eldest is called Abu al-Fadl Abbas. Abu al-Fadl Abbas. Abbas, grand personality. Imagine, he's born 4th of Sha'ban, 26 after Hijri. As soon as he's born, Sayyidah Zainab Salaamullah alayha, she's in her 20s now. She's a grown woman. She comes running into the room, full of excitement. And she whispers something in his ear. Imam Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Zainab, Abbas, he's going to grow up under your care. He's going to be with you all the time. What's the rush? She says, Baba, there's a rush. This message isn't from me. This message is from my mother, Father. This message is from my mother, Fatima Az-Zahra. She said, one day there's going to be a brother of yours who's going to be called Abbas. I want you to send my salam to him. Imagine how great is Abu al-Fadl Abbas that Sayyidatul Nisa al-Alameen sends her salam to him. And Imam Hussain has so much confidence on him. Remember that day when they were leaving from Medina, they went into the palace of Walid. He came, Imam said to him, if my voice is raised, you come inside. Abu al-Fadl Abbas ready with this. He says, Abbas, Medina is in a place worthy of living, we have to leave. He leaves, comes to Makkah. In Makkah, Hazrat Abu al-Fadl Abbas delivers a sermon. He goes on the roof of Kaaba on the 8th of the Hijrah, and he delivers a sermon. And he says, oh people, don't you see that this Kaaba was only made Kaaba, this place was only made Kaaba because of the father of this man, pointing to Imam Hussain. And this man is leaving the Kaaba. This man is leaving the Kaaba, don't you see? And Abu Fadl Abbas says, he says, if the Kaaba was not fixed to its place, you would have seen. Remember? Ali was what? Ali was like Kaaba. As people come to you, you don't go to it because Kaaba doesn't go anywhere. But Abu Fadl Abbas says that if you could see and Kaaba had the will, you would have seen that Kaaba follows, leaves its place and follows my master Hussain. He's telling you, he's telling me, he's telling everyone at that time, Kaaba can't leave its place. But you can leave your place. If you want to be saved, you better leave your place and come down. didn't come. Hussein alayhi salam is traveling in the desert. On the way to Kufa, all of a sudden he says, Wa alaykum as-salam. Abu Fadl Abbas is standing next to him. He looks all around. He says, oh, my master, I don't see anything. Whose salam were you replying to? He says, Abbas, look between my fingers. He sees between the fingers of Imam, he sees the moment of Muslim being thrown off the roof of the palace of Ibn Ziyad. Then they come to Karbala. They come to Karbala. Now they're in Karbala. As soon as they arrive in Karbala, Abu Fadl Abbas pitches the tents next to the river. The enemies come and they say, remove the tents from the river. Abu Fadl Abbas say, how dare you move the tents? Hussain says, Abbas, we didn't come here for the fighting. Abbas, we didn't come here for the fighting. Abu Fadl Abbas puts his foot back and removes the tent. Water runs out. He wants to fight. Imam says, Abbas, we didn't come here for the fighting. On the morning of 9th of Muharram, Umar ibn Sa'd fires the first arrow. Hussain alayhi salam, he can send anyone. He sends Abu Fadl Abbas. He says, Abbas, I want you to go and tell Umar ibn Sa'd that we won't initiate them. We want one more language. He's telling us that Abu Fadl Abbas is Abbas because he's the most obedient of the Imam of the time. Abu Fadl Abbas is Abbas because he's the most obedient of the Imam of the time. The morning of Ashura comes. One by one, people start going to the battlefield. Abu Fadl Abbas says, oh, my master, give me permission to go to the battlefield. Imam only has one reply to him. He says, Abbas, you're the standard bearer of my army. How is it that I could let you go? How is it that I could allow you to go when you're the person who I rely on the most? How is it that I could let you go when I rely on you the most? Can we share some words from the Hadith again and then inshallah we'll come back. This is the night of Ashura. Discussion is between the Zainab and Imam Sahib. What does mean this thing? He says, Bas jisko tum kaho, usse de deen, usse de fauj ka alam, ki arz jo salah, शहे आसमां हशम फरमाया जब से उठ गई ज़हराए बाकरम उस दिन से तुमको माँ की जगह जानते हैं हम मालिक हो तुम बुजुर्ग कोई हो कि खुद हो जिसको कहो उसी को ये उहदा सुपुर्द जिसको कहो उसी को ये उहदा सुपुर्द हो ना वी स्पीकिंग बोली बहन कि आप भी तो ने किसी का नाम है किस तरफ तवज्जोए सरदारे खासो आम गर मुझसे पूछिए है गर मुझसे पूछते हैं शहे आसमां मकाम कुरान के बाद है तो अली ही का है कलाम शौकत में कद में शान में हमसर कोई नहीं अब्बास नामदार से बेहतर कोई नहीं अब्बास नामदार से बेहतर कोई नहीं. In this stanza, the Iranis mentions 22 qualities of Allah. One stanza. आशिक, गुलाम, खादिम देरीन जानिसार, फर्जंद, भाई, जीनत पहलू वफा शिआर, जर्रार, यादगार पिदर, फख्र रोजगार, राहत रसा, मुती, नमूदार और नामदार, सफ्तर है, शेर दिल है, बहादुर है, नेक है, बेमिसल सैकड़ों में, हजारों में एक है. Morning of Ashura, everyone starts praying. Abbas, he keeps on saying, Master, give me permission to go to the battlefield. Hussain alayhi salam says, Abbas, how can I let you go? You're the commander of my army, you're the standard bearer of my army. One moment comes, I read this in the Maqatil and it's a heartbreaking moment. One moment comes. And Hussain alayhi salam repeats this, he says, Abbas, you're the standard bearer of my army. Abu Fadl Abbas, nadara yameenan wa shimala. He looks right and then he looks left and he says, oh my master, where is that army of which I'm the commander? Where is that army of which I'm the commander? It's mentioned that after everybody was killed, Abu Fadl Abbas comes He hears the sounds of Anatash cries from the tent. All the children are weeping, wailing, 120 degrees Fahrenheit heat. No water. He comes with his 4-year-old niece, Sakina, and he stands silently in front of Hussein. Hussein says, Abbas, I understand. I understand. He says one sentence to Sakina, and he says one to Abbas. Both of them heartbreaking. He says to Sakina, Sakina, today you came to intercede for your uncle, but know that tomorrow in Kufa and Sham you will remember him a lot. Tomorrow in Kufa and Sham you would recall him a lot. He says to Abbas, he says, Abbas, go to the battle, go to the river and get some water for the children. Abu Fadl Abbas, he wants to leave. Hussein says no, but first go to Zainab and bid her farewell. Abu Fadl Abbas comes into the tent. And Zainab said, Abbas, our father when we were little used to tell us that one day, Zainab, you would be taken as prisoner. And I used to wonder that a sister who has a brother like Abbas, how could she be taken as prisoner? I knew that it was true because our father had said so. But I did used to wonder, Abbas, now that you're going, I'm certain that that time is close, it's near, that I'm going to be taken as prisoner. He says, Abbas, go and get water for the children. It's mentioned that as long as Abu Fadl Abbas was alive, the people in the army of Yazid used to stay up all night. And the people in the tents of Imam Hussein used to sleep peacefully. When Abu Fadl Abbas was killed, the people in the tents of Yazid used to sleep peacefully. And the people in the tents of Imam Hussein used to stay up all night. Abbas goes to the battlefield. Abbas goes not to the battlefield, he goes to the river. Everybody goes to the battlefield, Abbas goes to the river. He goes to Al-Mahd. Those of you who've been for ziyarat know that when you go from the Haram of Imam Hussein to the maqam of Sahib al-Zaman, next to it is the river. So take your mind, those of you who've been for ziyarat, take your mind to that place. Close your eyes and imagine that you're standing there. It's 120 degrees Fahrenheit, the day of Ashura. You haven't had water for 3 days, possibly more than that. And it's psychological. If you're thirsty and you don't get water, you become patient. But if you're thirsty and you see water in front of you, you see water in front of you, and then you have to show your patience. That is Kamal of Sabr. The poet says, Sajada Kiti Darya par ajab barat pani. Sajada Kiti Darya par ajab barat pani ki. वो बहुत करते थे अशरार यजीदी बात पानी की. बहुत करते थे अशरार यजीदी बात पानी की. पहुंचे दरिया पे ठोकरे मारी चले आए. बता दी हजरत अब्बास में औकात पानी की. बता दी हजरत अब्बास ने औकात पानी की. He took the water in his palms. You know, there's a poet in English who says that when Abu Fadl Abbas took the water in his palms, he threw the water. And he said, how dare your palms feel the coolness of the water when the children of Hussein are thirsty. He fills up the water carrier and then he turns back. Now when he turns back, Umar ibn Sa'd says to his men, he says, what's wrong with you? One man went towards the river and got water and you couldn't prevent him. They all said to Umar ibn Sa'd, you don't know who he is. says he is Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi. He's Abbas ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib. We can't go in front of him. If we go in front of him, we will kill. Umar ibn Sa'd says, I don't know anything. All I know is that water should have reached the tent. Whatever you have to do, now! They say we can't go in front of him, so we will go behind him. This is the way of the cowards. We'll attack him from behind, but he can't see us. So they come forward and they attack him on the left hand. They cut off his left hand. Sakina, with all the children, is standing outside the tent. She's gathered all the children, they're standing outside the tent. And they're so little, they can't see anything. All they can see is the standard of Abu Fadl Abbas. Sakina says, look, my uncle Abbas is coming with the water. My uncle Abbas is coming with the water. We're not going to be thirsty anymore. They're watching the standard of Abu Fadl Abbas. When the left hand or when the right hand is cut off, the standard, it goes down. The children get worried. Where's the standard? Abu Fadl Abbas takes it in his left hand. Now they see the standard is straight back up again. They say the water is coming. Then somebody comes and they cut off his left hand. Now the standard wavers again. Children are worried again. Abu Fadl Abbas takes the standard, the alam, in his teeth. Children are watching. Standard is still there. The water is coming. Umar ibn Sa'd says, what's happening? I'm telling you, water shouldn't reach. From a distance, the enemy fires an arrow. Abu Fadl Abbas, all his wish, his desire, his tamanna is only that the water should reach the tent. They fire an arrow. The arrow pierces the water carrier and lodges into his eye. I always say, maybe in that water carrier was the will to live. When it smashed open, Abu Fadl Abbas fell from the horse. The founder of this style of Khilabat, Maulana Siddiq Hassan Sahib, says that every single person, when he falls, he takes his hands to support him. Abu Fadl Abbas fell from the horse with no hands, so he came face down on the burning sands of Karbala. He calls out, oh my master, come to my aid. Hussain alayhi salam calls out, Alan, Alan, in kasara dhahri wa qillati lati. Abbas! Your cry has made my back broken. My support is gone. How does Hussain alayhi salam come to Abbas? Back broken. He comes to Abu Fadl Abbas, sits by his side. Abbas says, oh my master, I have two dying wishes. One, don't take my body into the tent. I am ashamed, embarrassed in front of my niece that I promised her that I'm bringing water and I couldn't fulfill my promise. If she sees me, she will die. Remember the day Ashura passed, Sham al-Ghariba came, Sakina was told that water has come. The first question was, did my uncle Abbas come back? He says, oh my master, my second wish is that when I was born, the first person I saw was you. Now I'm dying, the last person I want to see is you. One eye has an arrow in it, the other eye has blood. Oh my master, if you clean the eye which has blood so I'm able to see you. And I wouldn't have given you this trouble, but I have no hands. I have no hands. Hussain alayhi salam says, Abbas, I also have a dying wish. I also have a final wish. Abbas says, oh my master, in this state, what could I possibly do for you? Hussain says, Abbas, your whole life you called me master. One time I want to hear you call me brother. One time before you die, I want to hear you call me brother. Ya Hussein. 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 Ya Hussein.